All right, you're tuning in to the New Old Heads, episode 8. I'm Lonegevity. This is DJ Spoolz, Maja 7th with 𝐀𝐄𝐃𝐒, and Jay Diff right here with the Bringing Down the Band apparel.
Talk that talk. I see you.
𝐀𝐿𝐄𝐃𝐒.
Got that 𝗏𝗏 sweatshirt on.
Thank you for tuning in again. We very much appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Please hit the subscribe button.
It's somewhere on here.
It's on there.
Yeah,
just hit that subscribe. That helps us. Share it if you want. Invite all of your friends and family to like it. That would be great as well.
Yes.
But I won't judge you if you don't. This episode, we talked about...
He's going to judge you behind your back.
We talked about Soulja Boy's incidents. We talked about Future. We talked about...
Biggie,
Big J,
L.
Big L, Tupac, who would have been great if they would have lived, etc. There's a very long discussion on that.
Yes.
We also talked about J.Cole and his album and a lot of other stuff. So for an hour. So thank you for tuning in. We'll get you right to it. NewOldHeads.com, BringingDownTheBand.com, YouTube.com/BDTBand. Make sure you subscribe.
Please subscribe. Thank
Please
you.
subscribe.
Bong bong.
Bong.
Appreciate it.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast, brought to you by BringingDownTheBand.com. No bad ideas in Coleman Dental. I am Maja 7th. I make beats. I have the t-shirts to prove it. And as always, to my left, I have the one and only Lonegevity.
Hello.
The one and only DJ Jay Diff.
Salutations.
And as always, on the right, the incomparable, giggling DJ Spoolz.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, sir?
Great, man. How are you?
Good to see you at 105%, brother.
Yeah, I'd say 105, 110.
Yeah?
Yeah, feeling good.
I feel like I talk about your health status on every intro. Should
you
I
have
stop
since
that?
I've been sick. It's up to you, man.
Okay.
I don't know if it's,
It's a pretty dry response. I showed I cared about you.
I was just showing indifference. I don't want to tell you what to not say.
Okay.
So I'm honored that you're asking about my health, man. You know what I mean? So who would I be to be like, oh, don't ask me how I feel?
He could be sick because it is cold like Minnesota out.
Wow.
It is.
I see what you did there.
Cold like Minnesota.
New remix coming soon.
Oh man.
But yeah, thank you though. No, I'm feeling good, man.
Good. You sound good. We are the New Old Heads. This is episode number 8.
Ocho.
And we are alive and well and rolling. So
Let's get it.
Bitch, I might be.
Shout
Bird.
out to Lone and the random
Gucci
ad libs. He's becoming quite brilliant at that.
Nice Gucci reference.
I figured this is one of my favorites because, we talk about rappers, we talk about the lies that they tell, we talk about the dumb things that they do on a consistent basis. And I think this is one of the dumber things that I've seen in a while.
You seem really excited right now.
I'm not excited. I don't want to wish bad on anybody. Shout out to Healthy Gucci. I'm not here for
man.
that. I'm not here
Can't
for that.
shout that out enough times. In my opinion.
Shout out to Healthy Gucci. So I'm on the Breakfast Club. Looks great.
Dude, I watch it. I'll watch it. Like I watched one with who was it? Funk Flex.
Yes.
One that he had done. I was hoping. I paused on purpose because I thought you would do your Funk
We
Flex.
see you out on the streets. I'm in those areas.
I know those guys.
We know where you were. I was with those guys. We know where you are. I'm always there.
The interview with him, man, it's just cool. Like Gucci's like, he smiles a lot, and he just seems really, really happy. He just seems to be really happy. You know what I mean? And that's honestly, like, genuinely makes me happy to see that, dude.
You know what was funny though? When he was he called Angela Yee out. Told her she was trying to get him in the hotel room, and she denied it, like front to back. He was like,
Healthy Gucci did?
Yeah.
Yes, Healthy
Gucci. And I like unhealthy
to
Gucci too, but
she tried to get it unhealthy Gucci back in the day, and he called her out about it.
Yes.
Awesome.
And she was like, no, I didn't. He is like, really, you gonna sit there and just lie like that? He didn't necessarily say that, but the look he gave her was like, dang, get for real.
Gucci's awesome.
He didn't back,
him, man.
He didn't back off of it though. He didn't back off of it.
Yeah.
He was dead serious.
You know
he
what?
was telling the truth.
I did watch probably a minute and a half of Gucci on NPR.
Was this Healthy Gucci or unhealthy?
Yeah, the Tiny Desk concert.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
He did one of those?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about that. I haven't watched it yet. But
It was like there was a beat of hi-hats and a guy playing piano, and he was rapping. So
nice.
Awesome.
Now that's comedy to me. That's funny. I'd have to see that. I want to hear bricks in the library.
Dude, Gucci's verse on the remix of
White Bricks.
The one where he bodied Common?
Yeah, the one where he bodied Common.
First of all,
yeah.
that's
first
not
things
possible.
first.
But his verse was cold.
His
I
verse
did
was
listen
dope.
to it.
Have you guys ever heard Gucci do a conscious
No.
verse like that, or
Nope.
positive verse or something like that before? I hadn't.
No,
I'll be frank. I know like 3 Gucci verses.
Were you just
Excuse me.
rapping bricks?
See, like I
Is that
know.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That
know
sounds dope. With Yo Gotti.
Yeah.
the bitch I might be.
Mm-hmm.
I know that because Suff Daddy did a remix to it.
word.
The original is trash.
Nah, it really ain't though.
Oh, but it is.
I rock
oh,
with
but
it.
it is.
I rock
oh,
with it,
but it
though.
is.
I do too.
That's
Like
fine.
Gucci Mane, man.
That's fine.
Anyway, sorry, dude. I think I took you. We were talking about Gucci, but you were winding up to talk about
Oh yeah. I mean it's cool. There's never a bad time to talk about healthy Gucci.
That's right.
Oh, let me clarify.
Yes.
The beat is trash.
There you go.
I like the remix, and I like his verse, and I like his flow on it. But that beat,
Oh, okay.
it may have fit the times,
Mm-hmm.
I think it did. Yeah, that's it.
but
Mhm.
that's like,
Is you geeked up?
bitch, I might.
I
I might be.
Hey, that shit was cool though. I liked it.
Hey, there's always room for a little Gucci, and I'm really starting to feel better about healthy Gucci. So I might venture into more Gucci, more healthy Gucci. I'm not saying I'm gonna buy out albums, but I'm gonna open my mind up, my third eye, and get a little more healthy.
He just
Gucci.
dropped East Atlanta Center too.
I saw the video for that.
Fuck game.
I assembled
Word.
that.
There we go.
I assembled dope.
Yes. Anyway, sorry. That was-
Like water for
I need to
chocolate.
check that out.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet. Though.
East Atlanta Santa is just a fucking awesome nickname too.
It is.
Amazing.
It's pretty dope.
And jingle
Period,
bells are
dude.
jingle
Like-
bells are in the beat. So when I saw that, after I laughed, I was like, okay, this is dope. I know this is random and this is not what we were talking about. But did y'all see Plies? Did you see the new video for money to my ear?
Was he
like
wearing
I'm talking on
a
the
Oh
mink
phone?
yeah,
bath
with the,
coat?
Yeah.
He was wearing like, remember the mascot back in the day, the chicken.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
That's
The
what his
chicken.
outfits kind of look like.
He
Like
has
the
a
Philadelphia, not the no, you're not thinking of that. The
Who was
like
that
the-
chicken, man? He used to like wow out the mascot. He used,
yeah, I know.
yeah, it was a chicken back in the day. I can't remember what team
yeah.
he was a mascot for, but he used to like for real wow out.
bruh. He has a sombrero
Yeah.
on, and then there's a mink coat, but it's got a train that's like 8 feet long.
And then he got
and
on
the
the
shorts
uh,
are mink.
And then
with
he got
it.
on the
His mink
the,
shorts.
Young Dolph boots.
yeah, nah, them is the what's his name?
The boots
Napoleon
are
Dynamite joints.
the boots are stupid.
Yeah.
So
like,
Was he
They're
just?
this wide around your leg. And
Is
they
it a
go up-
video where he's rapping?
Yes, there's a
I
song
didn't know
called
he
"Money
still
to My
rapped
Ear."
that much anymore.
Oh yeah, he goes in on Instagram. Like
I know he goes in on Instagram a lot.
He's brilliant on Instagram.
but that's different.
But
Money-
I didn't know he like made
Money
albums
to
and
My
shit.
Ear
Yeah, he's
is
still
the-
making music.
Oh,
It's
great.
really, really funny.
Well, go back
Great.
to Ritz Carlton. You ain't heard that?
I don't follow Ply's career that closely.
Hey,
I never
man.
was a big fan.
So
He was quietly on Short Bus Shorty too.
He was.
Part
that
two?
video, and it was the funniest in my opinion of all of it because he's just yelling
Yeah.
Well, his
and
brilliant,
like not rhyming. It's
Yeah.
awesome, dude. Yeah.
his
can
br-
dig
his
it.
brilliance on
When I
Instagram
shower,
takes
dog,
that forever.
I wear a shower cap.
Get it from the bike.
Yeah, it's like it's awesome.
Yo, his brilliance on Instagram trumps all of that. I don't care what he put out. He's brilliant on
So-
Instagram.
He's a character for sure.
So this song, it doesn't have like an Asian influence sample in it to start
No.
off.
It has a traditional. I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. It has a. Have y'all seen the movie? Remember the old school movie, The Three Amigos?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
been
the
a
other
while.
two.
Chevy Chase, Martin Short,
Yep.
And somebody I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it sounds like music from that
Steve
movie
Martin.
in the beginning. Steve Martin.
That's right.
And then it just goes into this trap beat, and you see him with a long ass mink train
All right.
walking, and he's got mink shorts
Does
on.
he have on his big ass like
No,
chain? Have you guys
It's just like
his
a
ridiculous
mink
chain?
vest or
it's a
something.
mink coat with a.
But he's not wearing
8-foot
his
train.
big ridiculous chain. Have you guys seen that thing that he got?
Oh.
I think it was him some time ago. But he has like the heaviest gold chain.
I think that was Gucci, man.
No,
either
it
way,
was Plies, man.
Was it?
Anyways,
it's not better. It's not better than Ghostface Eagle, but
that's true. Nothing's better than
as
that.
I digress. The topic I was thinking about was Soulja Boy, and the reason I thought Soulja Boy was interesting is because about a month ago, he was putting $100,000 up on somebody's head.
Yeah, we kind of addressed the whole him.
You remember that?
Pulling
the kid
out
from
the
Chicago?
guns and
Yeah.
incriminating himself, but
Went to jail.
yeah, what happened?
He went to jail.
He kind of
It sounds
incriminated
like-
himself, didn't he?
He incriminated himself.
It sounds like that Jay Diff knowledge came about.
Man,
It did.
Jay Diff was talking that
Dropping
talk.
gems.
He was talking that talk, and the talk came to fruition because Soulja Boy went to jail for violating probation, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he's online with like
An AK or something.
like a Draco, right? You know what I mean?
Pink
Like
and
an
purple guns and
AK-47.
shit.
Fucking
He had like a purple gun or something.
like who does that, man?
Soulja Boy. I heard he was kind of cool when he was here for the producer showcase. Like everybody that was there said he was kind of cool, but
What is
I heard
kind
the
of
same.
cool?
I mean, I don't know. I guess he was,
Like not
reacting
being a
with
dick
the
to
people
everyone?
and blah blah blah. I don't
Right.
know.
Was he
But,
looking for beats or
I think he actually was doing beats because he was like the
he used to produce?
poster child for the Fruity Loops back in the day.
I have a
That's-
theory. I have a
Yeah.
theory that
He did.
he ushered in, and I'm gonna build this out one day, like sit down and like a mad scientist. I just pictured myself at a desk like writing shit. But I think he ushered in a shitty wave of hip hop when he came out, man.
I mean, if you think about it,
Or
yes.
rap or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
there was a lot
not
of kids.
single-handedly, but he led this charge of just
Yeah.
like,
Bullshit.
oh
Yeah.
my god,
You can
like,
do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started like having to play those songs as a DJ. And I went and got them, and I'd listen to them at home, like when I first started, before I played them out, and I'd be like, "Are you kidding?" Like,
You
I was like, "Oh,
you
fuck.
was doing the dance. You was back there spinning,
just by myself."
doing
Yeah.
like this and shit.
I was,
Yeah, I know.
I was not.
He had his own movement he had his own movement though that
you
cannot be
picture that?
denied.
Yeah,
It
but you
cannot
got to
be denied.
realize when he did that, there were so many kids watching him.
Yes.
Like all the kids was doing that shit.
Yes.
I thought he was cool. He was 4 kids at that point in time too.
Yeah.
Does he still do adults buy his records?
I know
mean-
some adults that love Soulja Boy.
Shit,
I ain't
bitch, you
we're
guessed
not gonna
it.
put him on. We're not gonna put him on blast.
Woo!
But
And at the end of the day, that's fine.
You
I
was
think I get
right.
off on these like rants about like what people should or shouldn't like, and that's people can like what they want. People like music for different reasons and shit, right? But like, he really did lead a charge of really really bad fucking rap.
I always put him in the category with D4L. In that style, like
really?
when Laffy Taffy came out, just because of how cookie cutter it was and
So they're-
how like real, like general catchy it was.
They're both from Atlanta.
Who came first?
Not really.
D4L.
I mean, I know they've been around longer, but who popped?
I think
Laffy
Taffy. I think Laffy Taffy preceded
I don't
Soulja
remember.
Boy's
Yes.
Crank That.
Well, Shawty
If I'm not
Lowe's
mistaken.
was in D4L.
Yeah, shout out
Right.
Shorty
Yeah.
Low, rest in
Yeah,
peace.
rest in peace, man. But
yeah.
I don't see I feel what you're saying because the sound, especially from a production standpoint, I think was somewhat similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Between the
mean,
two.
obviously, Soulja Boy was an internet sensation.
Right, and that's what I was going to touch
one
on
of the
too.
first.
He was definitely one of the first. He pretty much made it off of MySpace.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? So he's actually,
The
believe it
people's
or not,
choice.
he's a pioneer
Oh, yeah.
He
to a
is.
certain
And
extent.
I won't take that away from him.
You
That's
can't.
true.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't knock that he's going to have. As crazy as it sounds, when you think about rap, you think about hip hop, you think about it as a culture. You start to tell the story. There's going to be a Soulja Boy section because he authored a lot of these kids. Look, if you think about it, Young Water Vessel talked about how he looked up to Soulja Boy. Like he literally
Right.
looks up to Soulja Boy. He grew up on that.
What is
So
that? That's
There's gonna be an era that you cannot you cannot not mention Soulja Boy. Like those are, I watched the whole thing transpire. It
Facts.
happens.
from a
Facts.
business marketing standpoint. Totally, man. Completely agree.
Yeah, he
on
got
some,
off.
on some lover of hip hop shit. That hurts my heart.
Yeah, I can dig it. But he had the yums too, though. Yeah, Yums.
Yeah.
You remember them shoes with the smiley face on it, clear bottom, the fake Bapes.
There was a movement for those Spoolz.
Yep.
There was a movement for those, but I mean,
to your story though, man.
He's still stupid for going to jail for putting guns online. No, that's stupid.
It seems like he's all over the place lately. Like whenever I do see stories about him, like you said, he threatened the kid from Chicago.
Yep.
The OGs from Chicago called him. He was like, "No, it's not a problem." He threatened someone else. Water vessel after that.
He's threatening Quavo now.
He's threatening
Chicago.
Quavo. Yeah. He threatened
Migos,
his current girlfriend's ex-boyfriend online and was basically threatening to kill him as well. Like, and I know I said it before. I know it's Soulja Boy, but like, you play so tough all the time. That's the least tough thing you can do. Just get online and show everyone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he's threatened. I just thought about
it's just
that.
not smart. Maybe it's tough. I don't know, but it's not a smart thing, dude.
It's not
you know
tough.
He's threatening everybody that Coach K is managing.
Talk that.
Like they can damn near click up
Diff.
and like what's that all about?
He stays safe though, man. For
He's
the most
probably
part.
mad because Coach K ain't managing him.
Who else is Coach? Is Coach K managing Yachty?
Little Water Vessel.
Or Young Water
Migos.
Vessel, rather?
Yeah, Young Water Vessel.
Yeah, and I knew he was doing Migos. That dude's managed everybody.
He has his feet planted in the right place because he's getting back off of managing these young acts. Call it what you want. He's getting back.
So the Soulja Boy stuff is pretty new, though, in general.
Yes.
Like him being an asshole?
Yeah, like it's fairly recent. So maybe there's something else going on there.
Perhaps
it's drugs.
It could be a publicity stunt. Shout out to my man Big Charlie. He thinks it's he thinks it's just planned, like it's execution for something that's going to come out later, which could be.
Could also, to that point, be a way to just kind of stay relevant. Stay in people's minds.
Stay
popping.
Like
Shout out to popping.
But as far as drugs, like a lot of these, like he was on. I saw a video of him. He was in an airport, I think, in like France or some shit like that. Like literally pouring activists into like a bottle of Sprite in the middle of the airport and shit. Maybe it's illegal or not over there. I don't know. It's just not a smart move, man.
I mean, there's so many people that do that dumb shit. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the news, but somebody here literally got indicted off of what they were putting on Facebook. Like a dude that had warrants and shit is literally sharing all of this shit that he does on Facebook. And I literally seen somebody posting shit on Facebook yesterday asking for perks and who's got loud. And it's like,
it's dumb.
That's so stupid.
Who buys their drugs on Facebook? Like, who does
Surprisingly, a lot of people must do it.
Wow, man.
I bet there's probably special groups for that shit.
I'm sure.
Special groups that monitor that.
Not that
both.
Both. Okay. I mean, I think it's completely stupid. Like,
but it's still dumb. Yeah.
Did you ever get a Facebook request from some random ass woman with a big ass? It's got 5 friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to ignore those.
Yeah.
Who do you think that is? I don't know.
Big Brother.
It could
be Big Brother.
It could
Eye
be
in the sky.
Could be many things. Though.
Yeah.
You want to know what's funny about those? Like on Facebook, when they see them pop up, it'll tell you like you have 2 friends in common.
Right. And it's always funny.
It's always the same 2 people. I'm not gonna say anybody's names, but it's always the same 2 dudes.
Hey,
I'm like,
I can relate because it's funny because it's almost like when you see those people that add you as a friend, you already be like, okay, this is some bullshit.
Yes.
But somebody
like, what are you
obviously
gonna try to tell me that you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like,
somebody is obviously drinking the Kool-Aid because they're like, oh, look at this. Yeah, this is
friend.
my friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you want to be my friend?
Then they'll post on there, thanks for adding me as a friend. Like, why do people thank people for adding them as a friend on Facebook?
Some people are just really not good at the internet.
I guess.
It's true.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's true.
And there are levels to it. I mean, like, I feel like my grandmother, who just started on Facebook like 2 months ago, probably knows better.
Granny.
Probably might know a little better than that. Maybe not. Actually, she probably doesn't. But there are levels to it, and some people just do not know the internet.
My aunt likes commenting on everything.
Yeah.
Like somebody can tag me in something. She'll comment on it. I love her to death, but it's funny.
Shout out to Auntie, man.
My grandma is 93 and she has a Facebook
account.
Yeah, man.
Good for her.
She active?
Not often, but like when my cousin goes over there, she'll help her like, get on there and she'll post some stuff, man. Yeah. Like, all right,
after
Grandma.
Price is Right goes off.
Yeah, exactly. First things first, man.
Right.
Priorities straight.
QVC. It's all about QVC.
Well, I guess that's enough of Soulja Boy for the day.
Shout out to my grandma. I love you, Grandma.
Yeah. Shout out to Granny. Future has some interesting things to say about one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time.
Did he? What did he say? I forget.
He said Reasonable Doubt was not popping until Biggie and I think he said Biggie and
Pac died.
Passed away. Now, for the record, I had the CD single of Dead Presidents, maxi single, instrumental, B-side, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I was fully aware of Dead Presidents. I thought that shit was dope.
Yes, sir.
They talked about it on the Breakfast Club, and they said people in New York streets, Reasonable Doubt was popping. To me, it blows my mind that people say Reasonable Doubt. I'm not saying it's #1 album in the country. I'm not saying that it's on the top Billboard. I'm not saying any of that. But for you to say that it was not popping at all is absolute bullshit to me.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm gonna say to that. To a certain extent, he has a little water that he can hold on that statement, but I mean, if you think back to '96, Tupac and Biggie were the biggest hip hop acts out at that time.
Was that the year Pac was killed in '96, right?
96.
Right. Biggie was killed in '97. So I mean, Tupac addressed Jay-Z on Machiavelli, right? Was it on Machiavelli or was it on All Eyez on Me?
It was Machiavelli.
All right, so people definitely knew who Jay-Z was. All right. I actually had a conversation about this on Facebook. One of my friends, AJ, had posted about the whole Future Jay-Z comment. And like you said, back in '96, we was up on it. Like, we was definitely listening to Reasonable Doubt in '96. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why when people say it wasn't really popping like that, in my general circle, it was. Maybe not collectively as a whole, it wasn't.
Nationally, maybe it wasn't.
Right. But this is what I'll say, too, though. With Future making that comment, I mean, this is 20 years after the fact. I can't really attest to any album that Future has made being even on a radar in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So for him to say that, and then for him to be cut from the cloth of the Dungeon family.
Don't you say it. Don't you say it. Don't you say it. I hate it.
I mean,
it bothers me.
I feel like the only merit he has is that the passing of Biggie and Pac so close together opened up the doors.
Yep.
For everybody.
That's what I'm saying. I can kind of G for that.
But the person who stepped into that realm at that point was Jay.
Yeah.
Mostly.
And Nas.
Well, he eased into it, I guess. It wasn't like right away. But Reasonable Doubt was already out at that point, right?
Yep.
So it wasn't like Reasonable Doubt dropped. How am I saying this?
After they died.
Yeah, it's not like it was before, so it was there.
It was there.
And it wasn't as big as those albums. There's no denying that. Or those two artists. It allowed people to pay more attention to them afterwards. And I would say that's the truth even for me, because I paid more attention to Jay after they passed. I paid more attention to Jay. But see, I wasn't as big. I don't go as far back as you guys, because me getting into hip hop, like into it, was like 98.
Yep.
Like that's when I first really was like in it.
I was there.
I know you were. So, but like before that, it was just kind of hit and miss.
Yeah.
So as somebody that was like a hit and miss hip hop person,
right,
I didn't really know Jay-Z much.
Right.
So
that's fair.
But I knew Biggie, I knew Pac, I knew Outkast.
By the time '98 rolled around, he was on Volume 2. Right. Which had they had like Hard Knock Life.
Yeah, and I liked that album.
Right.
That was the first album that I actually got introduced to.
See, I was on Volume 1.
Yeah, Volume 1 was dope.
Imaginary Player,
Boy.
You Must Love Me, Streets is Watching.
My favorite Jay-Z song, and I'm not a huge Jay-Z fan, as you guys know, but is on Volume 1, Where I'm From.
Man.
We're riding around in Florida with my cousins the first time I heard that.
Who's the best MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas?
That beat.
Yes.
That quietly, I think it's 𝗀𝗡𝗋 is the sample. That's like my favorite sample.
Shout out to Spoolz
in hip-hop.
In the crates.
Boy,
Shout out to Spoolz in the crates.
Digging.
Same sample that Biz Markie used for Check It Out. Same sample that Fat Joe used for I'm a Bad Man, I think is what it was called on his first album. Same sample Apollo Brown used for Guilty Simpson's project.
Spoolz is in that crates.
Anyway, so Sean, you brought up a good point, but I was like, so Future's comment is interesting to me. I feel him, and I agree with you guys for the most part. I kind of agree a little bit, but I take it like maybe just a little bit a step further, and that's like totally analyze what he said. But so Reasonable Doubt comes out in '96, right?
Yep.
Machiavelli came out in '97.
96
as well.
96. Tupac died in September
of 96.
Machiavelli came out like a week after he died.
That's
a week
right.
or two after he died.
So also, Life After Death came out in '97, shortly after Biggie's passing, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I will say that Reasonable Doubt may have got looked over because of those two albums dropping. So looking at it from an album to album and then person to person standpoint, I think everybody was like really quick to check out Machiavelli and check out Life After Death because of their passing. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo.
So
yes.
I see the tie there, but what I will say is that Jay-Z's rise as a superstar or best rapper ever, best rapper alive, as people have said before,
quote unquote,
definitely, it's shitty to say benefited, you know what I mean? But definitely was, I think, with Biggie and Pac's passing helped propel that.
See,
I will also say Big L's passing, I think, probably helped that. And that was '99 when Big L passed.
See, this is what I'm going to say real quick.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The thing about Jay-Z is he remained consistent. He literally dropped an album every single year, pretty much around the same time. He stayed consistent. He had a plan. Him, Dash, all of them, they pretty much cornered the market exactly how they wanted to.
I don't think they would have been able to corner that market if those 3 minutes stayed alive.
I think they still would have been players in it.
Players, yes.
Major players, though.
Like
major
owners
players,
of it, or
though.
what they became, like the success, I don't think that would have happened. And I know that's really hard to predict or say.
I think it would have been the same.
I look at it like this. Think about how Kanye rose up under Jay-Z a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what Jay was a little bit under Biggie.
Right, because Biggie is the one that kind of told Jay, you need to kind of
They were going to do an album together, though.
But if Biggie is still dropping album every year up until 2015, or let's say 2008,
you could only imagine what that would be like.
Do you really see Jay-Z surpassing him? Do you? I mean, really? Do you see The Rock becoming what The Rock is?
I do see that. I can see them being. I mean, think about it. So when The Rock was big, Rough Riders were big at the same exact time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Death Row's on its way down at this point.
They're on their way down. It's kind of like it was like a change in the guards. Like West Coast ruled the early 90s till about Tupac's passing.
I was going to say 96, yeah.
Yep. And then East Coast kind of took over.
It was East Coast and down south, Master
P.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so I think it still would have been the same, man.
But to his point, though, I'm with Lone on this. Bad Boy as it was.
Bad Boy was killing
with Mace and Lil' Kim and Faith Evans and
led by Biggie. Like,
if you throw Biggie into that changes Rockefeller, dog. That changes Rockefeller because Biggie and Puff together with Mace and Faith and that whole camp, Carl Thomas,
they was all rocking with each other though. Like,
no, they were. I feel you, but I'm just saying in terms of when we talk about the magnitude of crews, if you put Big with that, because think about it, Mace was huge.
Yeah, he was.
But
massive.
See, this is what I was going to say though. Yeah. Jay-Z and Dame and Biggs created a deal for Jay that got him super paid.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's true.
He owns his publishing.
Yep.
He owns all his shit.
Yep.
Based off of what they were doing back then.
That's true.
Even on so when Big passed away, Puffy went on tour, the No Way Out tour.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z opened.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So Rockefeller is still in the mix. It wasn't like if Big is here, Jay ain't getting no shine.
No, I agree with that.
Biggie was in Jay-Z's first video, Dead Presidents. He's in the video.
I mean, if you think about it, Jay spearheaded the Hard Knock Life tour.
Right.
So I get it. I'm just saying, and then I kick it to Spoolz. I'm just saying, Bad Boy as a whole, that movement was so strong. And if you put Biggie on top of that, man, that's tough. And I kick it to Spoolz.
And who knows who they would have added?
Who knows? Spoolz.
But people was jumping ship real quick. My bad. People was jumping ship. Locks had the
Locks was on Bad Boy,
right? But they had the whole campaign to get them off of the label.
Them.
Exactly. So
good call.
So if Rockefeller has people that are getting paid, they're happy with their situation. I mean, Rockefeller had a real nice run.
They did.
Everybody was happy. State Prop was happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chris John. They only dropped like one album. They was dope though. Emil left. I don't know what happened with that, but
you might be. I mean, you make really good points, Terry, and you could be right. It's like I said, it's hard to like try to think of what. It's like the basketball game. Well, if this wouldn't have happened, we would have won. It's like, well, no, if you would have fucking made the free throw the second quarter, maybe you would have won.
You would have won.
So, but it's hard for me to think that. I will say this: the dominance that Jay-Z had, I don't think would have been. I don't think that would have been attained or achieved, certainly as quickly, if those three men. I'll add Big L in that. We're still around.
I think that's my argument. I'm not saying
Jay-Z's a hell of an MC.
Yeah.
Maybe, what would have been really cool? I like to think of situations like this. Maybe Jay-Z would have never dumbed his rhymes down on purpose if those three guys would have stayed alive.
They would have
lyrically challenged him to continue to stay as lyrically dope as he was on Reasonable Doubt and Volume 1.
Terry don't.
I mean,
Diff
I mean, he said it himself.
He did say it himself, but at the same time,
for the reason he did, that's cool. I'm not gonna knock somebody for wanting to make more money. You know what I mean? I get it. Like,
truthfully,
but
I want to rhyme like common sense. I made $5 million. I ain't been rhyming like common sense.
I mean, that makes sense. I understand what he's saying, but even if you listen to Big, his rhyme patterns and schemes were more lyrical before he actually got the rap deal.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody, they
like
all
the freestyle
pretty much
out in front of the store. You guys
right, and then even on the Stretch and Bobbito show with, you know what I'm saying? I think they all kind of dumbed down their potential because hip-hop started ascending as far as actually making money off of it. But so they commercialized it a little bit.
I think with Biggie and Jay-Z and other people as well, and I think they stand out a lot because of their ability to do this and is continue to be a really, really dope MC, but still be able to dumb it down a bit to obtain a wider audience, I guess, at the end of the day. Not to say people are dumb, you know what I mean? But there's not everybody likes super lyrical, but super lyrical people aren't the ones making millions and millions and millions of dollars
until
on a consistent
Kendrick came
basis.
around.
Yeah, it's true.
Big had those records, though.
You've made similar things, a little bit different, but, about Kanye, who has the ability to take concepts and kind of break them down. I know you guys have both said that.
Yep.
But this, to me, is a little bit different. Like, and Jay does it really well. That's why I think he's been so successful, is that Jay-Z is still, like, even though I think, he did dumb shit down a little bit, even in the dumbed down part, is still a better MC than a lot of MCs.
It's still fly shit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he has that ability. He can rap about money and all the other shit everybody wants to hear about. You know what I mean? But he can do it better than most people.
He can rap about a Picasso painting. Like that's what he did.
Yeah.
But the thing about Big is, to go back to Life After Death, I understand the commercial push because they had more money, more problems.
Oh, hypnotized.
But there were, I Got a Story to Tell, Kicking the Door, 10 Cat Commandments. Like, he had lyrical genius and stories on that album as well, though.
Sitting in the crib dreaming about Learjets.
That shit is, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't leave it. He didn't completely leave it. Like, it was heat on that album.
You're nobody. Oh man, you're nobody till somebody kills you.
Yeah.
It was some heat on there where
that songs.
What's my joint on there? N-words bleed.
Yep.
Hey, that whole album is cold.
That album was crazy, man.
Got the suitcase up in the center. That shit was dope, man.
Yeah, like
I just think Biggie was better. Like, he could
got a story to tell when he talk about homeboy play for the New York Knicks.
Who we hear was
Anthony Mason. Rest in peace.
I was just getting ready to say that, but I couldn't remember what song. Is that What's Beef?
No, that's
story to
tell.
Got a story.
Fat Joe swears it was Anthony Mason. That's what he said. Now don't quote me on that.
I've always wondered who that was.
But
it used to be rumors that it was Larry Johnson.
But he was a Knick for a while.
Shout out to Grandmama. I used to let him Converse.
Boy.
React Juice. What you know about it?
All about it. Stick it to the Pacers.
I'm gonna transition real quick, and I'm gonna. Here's something that since I've become a hip hop head, which was what 99, 2000, around that area. 98. That's when I first. That's when I saw the Black Star video. Gotcha. That's when I saw Respiration. I was like sitting in front of the TV, like, hold up. I went into school next day. I was like, "Hey, Mike, have you heard of Black Star?" He's like, "No, I never heard of them."
And that is where it began.
And like it was. But anyways, so even from way back then, here's a random topic, and I'm going to show my ignorance on something. I'm not hip really at all to Big L, and I've never been hip to Big L. So when Spoolz mentions like Tupac, Biggie, and Big L. Mm-hmm. Big L was never on the radar to me at all.
Okay.
Now I have heard his stuff since, but I didn't. I was like, who the fuck is Big L? Like, like when people would mention that, but I would hear it. Like, I'd go back and hear him now and be like, oh, okay. But for a long time, it made no sense to me whatsoever.
I had to kind of circle back. So when all this was going on, 96, so I'm 13 years old, right? And I was into rap, but I was probably into more commercial rap, and at the time commercial rap was Biggie and Pac, you know what I mean? They were the best, you know what I mean? So I had those CDs and was familiar with their music, but it probably wasn't until I started digging deeper into hip-hop when I was maybe 17, 18, when I kept hearing older friends of mine mention Big L. This Big L, man, Big L, Big L, Big L. And I was like, all right. So I went back, and he really only did, I believe, one album while he was alive.
Right.
One.
Which was Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then the other one came out posthumously.
Yeah, the Big Picture came out after that. That has like him and Pac together on a song and shit like that. But Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous is, I like grimy street rap where the cats can rap really well. Mm-hmm. So we talked about Conway, West Side Gun, you know what I mean, of today.
Right.
Big L, in my opinion, was that back then.
The Godfather of sorts.
Just. I wouldn't say. I think
you
can
his
hear a little bit of G-rap
was
in him.
Ill.
Yeah,
yeah,
you can
definitely.
hear a little like of that G-rap influence in Big L.
Okay.
But just like when I think Big L, I think like smooth and like powerful at the same time, man. Like
very sharp,
like
very
just
sharp.
Rhyming the same. Like he could take not manipulate words to make them rhyme, but rhyme the same sound or same shit like 5 and 6 and 7 times like that.
Like Ebonics, the song Ebonics.
Yeah, dude, it's like he's just. But he's rapping on Lifestyles of Poor and Dangerous is nothing nice, man.
So
it's not like fun subject matter. There's nothing commercial about Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous.
If I was to go back and listen to one Big L project, it would be his first project?
I would. Big Pictures, or the Big Picture's a dope album too.
Like I've heard verses. It's one of those things where you have it sitting in the back of, like, I listen to so much music every day. But one thing that's always in the back of my mind is, there are certain things that I need to get hip on with history that I just keep pushing to the side over and over again.
Sure.
Big L is one of them. So that's...
I would, I've got all that shit too, so I'll definitely slide it to you. But like it's, so of those three, I would go as far as to say, Big L is my favorite of Big L, Biggie, and Tupac. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know it until I come back around and listen to Big L and then over and over and over and over again and just be like I said, but he was grimier. There was nothing commercial about that first album. Maybe Street Struck, that could have been. I know they pressed that as a single. I have that vinyl or whatever, and maybe one other.
I don't know. I think
that's just my favorite. I'm not saying he was the best of those three. He was just my favorite.
I understand what you're saying, but that the Life After Death. I mean, not Life After Death, but Ready to Die by Biggie was so polished.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Like the way, like the structure of that album, it was like there was no way that album was gonna fail.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
It's grimy
as fuck
too. Yeah. But it's got
excuse my language.
What's on there? Juicy, which was a
Big
definitely like it has Big Papa on it.
And that's back when they used to
like One More Chance.
That's on there. Yep. They had remixes to all that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
so they commercially pushed that well, you know,
Mm-hmm.
at the time.
The thing about Life After Death is it's kind of like Reasonable Doubt, because Reasonable Doubt was quote unquote Jay's life. You can hear all of Biggie's up until that point, what he had been through. He was from the drug dealing to writing his raps to whatever to having his daughter. Like that first album was like, this is who I am up until this point. And I think that made it so dope. It was like, it's literally his life on wax. And to piggyback off what Diff said, the sequencing to me is flawless. Like how every song is ordered, how they transition, you know what I'm saying? Like from the intro to the outro. To me, that type of shit is important when we talk about albums.
The singles aren't corny.
They're not corny at all.
But
they're not corny at all.
Warning was a single on that too, right?
Think about the times, though. That was a single.
Right.
Like, could you imagine something coming out like that being a single now?
But even his album after that, I mean, was Hypnotized on the next? That was semi-corny. I mean,
yeah, it was.
I love
videos. Videos.
I'm not saying I don't like it.
Sorry,
but it's in the era of Puff Daddy just stealing loops.
He had his foot all over that.
You know what I mean?
He had his foot all over
that. But the way Biggie did it, I mean, that just speaks on how good he was.
I agree.
Man. Like his wordplay is stupid.
When they started doing that shit, that's what brought Ghostface. That's what brought Raekwon out. I don't know if you guys know about Raekwon not liking Biggie back in the day and all that.
I heard
shit.
about it. I heard about it.
It's because of it was because of that. They're like,
the Hypnotized?
You want to get on and, you know, pop a little champagne. You know what I mean? He's always talking about shit
all
like that.
All the videos, dancing.
But no, to Terry's point, I agree. Like, I agree with both of you guys. Hypnotized is corny, in my opinion, as well.
I don't think
from
so.
a Biggie standpoint. However,
exactly from a Biggie standpoint.
However, he still does his thing on that song. You
know
what I mean?
Bodied
he still kills that song. So
I agree with everything that everybody has said.
I love Warning.
But if you compare Ready to Die to Life After Death, Hypnotized is corny as fuck.
I completely agree.
I can't really agree with that, man.
You can. You just don't want to.
It kind of goes back to that. Remember we was talking about music that makes you feel a certain way or a moment in life.
Yeah.
That was like my senior year.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear that shit come on the radio, or back then, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that shit's solid.
If there's nostalgia that's attached to it,
it's hard.
You almost have to disqualify yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's certain, when I hear ATLians, it takes me back to a certain moment. I don't care what anybody says. I love ATLians.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you say. Like, it takes me there.
I can literally picture you coming in my house when we were doing that in high school for the we were playing for Martin Luther King Jr.'s son.
Yep.
And you picked me up to go play for that. Yep. And you played me the Reza joint off Supreme Clientele.
Yes.
I still can picture not only you walking in and bullet jumping out, my dog, but I can literally picture us driving down the street in the cold, dreary-ass weather.
Yes, sir.
Like, I can picture that.
Mm-hmm.
I played him that
skip track.
The skip track where the record keeps skipping over and over on South.
He was like, "Yo, listen to this shit. It's crazy." I'm just like, "What the fuck is this?" But at the same time, I can think back as well and listen and think of all those tracks, and having the thought in my mind like, "Hypnotized" is a pop song, or like the songs on No Way Out.
Yeah.
What was the one that had Biggie on it on that one?
That was it had
Victory?
Jay on it too. Jay was on one as well.
The Jay,
was it Victory?
Yeah.
Nah, it wasn't Victory.
That had Busta Rhymes.
Biggie's on.
Biggie's on. Biggie's on there. He's the first one. No,
I'll tell you what.
Rap on there, right?
Second one.
It's like the second one. I don't remember what it is.
Well, No Way Out definitely was more popish.
Oh,
but the track 2, whatever that was, maybe track 3. It reminded me, it was like a mirror of Hypnotized to me. It felt like Diddy literally mirrored what he did with that to do that. The J joint on there was grimy. It was dope as fuck.
Oh, that's one of his coldest verses.
You know, like,
oh yeah, that's right.
Is this the end?
I haven't listened to that in a long time.
Is this the end? Yep.
But like there were certain bad boy songs that were just, to me, like when we listen to and when we acknowledge like, oh, that's a pop song nowadays, we know what that sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
There were certain pop songs that were hip hop songs, and Puffy had that formula down. And when you listen to them, you knew what they were. Hypnotize was one. So was whatever that other song, Been Around the World. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was just, that's what it was. I was like, it's not bad. I like it.
That's a shiny suit era, man.
But it's not
he
this.
mastered it too.
You know?
He mastered that.
Remember 24 Hours to Live?
Oh, yeah. With the locks.
Oh, yeah. And was DMX on that too?
Yep. Yeah,
Side note, somebody said one of you guys said Mace was really, really dope.
No, Mace was really, really big.
Oh, okay.
Big.
All right.
Well, Mace actually before, so kind of to go back to,
talk about children of the
people
corn.
actually spitting.
Which Mace?
So Murder Mace.
Yep. Killer Cam,
Killer
and Big
Cam,
L,
Big
and
L.
Herb McGruff, and Bloodshed. Yeah.
Yep.
All of that.
Project is really good. I don't know if did they ever do it, or is that just what I have is I think a compilation of all the songs they did.
Yeah,
I
I don't know if it was an actual
There's not
album.
an official album.
Okay.
I don't think there's an official.
And the quality's poor.
Yeah.
I think it was recorded off a tape or something like
It
that.
probably
but it's
was
still
actually
dope.
off with a Stretch and Bobbito show.
Yeah, probably so. But no, Mace after that, like I don't know if you ever heard about him trying to step to Mano and getting whooped, and then like all the shit between him and like I think he found God shortly after. Then lost God, I think, and then got called out by Cam and Jim Jones on the radio in front of everybody. I just always feels like he ends up being like just taking L after L. Like, I mean, he was the
Kanye
original L taker before.
Kanye said it. You ain't supposed to leave while you hot. That's how Mace fell off.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He was hot.
He was. He was
dipped.
We see you with the bars. We see you with the bars. I like that. We see you with the bars, J Diff. I like that.
I can dig it.
But
I appreciate it.
I tell you what. I know last week we didn't get a chance to, jump into Cole's album, J.Cole. I think everybody here has skimmed it or listened to it somewhat.
Yeah, I've given it a few spins.
Nah, I don't know if Nas has in the corner, but
I know Nas co-signed him, so
exactly. So we might have to exclude him.
I'm just gonna run
I will
with this.
say no more, sir.
For every episode here on out, I'm just gonna run with it. It's
just run with it, yeah, because this is how you actually feel.
I can't.
But J. Cole, man, I tell you what, I really did. I like the project. I think it was smooth. I'm a jazzy person, so I like some of the production that he had on there. I like the sequencing. The lyrics to me are always there. He had some singing on there. It wasn't predominantly Drake-ish in terms of the singing. It's more of a personal type feel versus a "Why aren't you talking to me today" type feel.
Please.
But I really
text you 17 minutes ago.
I left a smiley face on your Instagram.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Shout out to Drake. He getting that paper. He is getting
like
that
pops.
paper. But I like J. Cole, man. I think overall, I think it's a very solid project. I like the vibe. I think it's very smooth. Production is dope. He produces too, so I give him credit for that. I respect that. I'm not sure if he produced the entire thing, but I heard he did the majority of it.
He had I read about this. This is one thing I did actually. I did read about it. He had a producer that he worked with for the whole project.
Co-production?
He worked on it with him.
Was that the guy that was in the documentary?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But
okay.
But unfortunately, that's all the information that I have.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So
my information on this is fairly limited. I've just skimmed through most of it once so far, and I liked what I heard a lot. J. Cole is someone who has definitely grown on me over time, I would say. I didn't pay any attention to him when he first came out.
Right.
One or two people told me I should check him out, but there's probably one or two people I was like, meh. Like whoever they told me, I was like, I don't know what you listen to. So
right.
Didn't, which is weak of me, I guess, but whatever. And then another couple more people told me about him, and then I listened to a couple songs and was like, I can't remember what songs they were, but I wasn't blown away.
Yep.
But then 3 or 4 more people told me, you know what I mean? I just kept hearing it from more and more people, and then finally checked out Forest 2014, 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah.
Yep. He just seems to be I think I've said this before a couple weeks ago or last week. He just seems to keep getting better.
Yep.
Or working at it. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't seem like he's not lazy from an MC standpoint. Like you can just tell he cares a lot about what he's doing. He puts a lot of time and effort into it. and then he takes it seriously, and I dig that about him. The track "Neighbors" is the one that stood out to me. Shouts my man JR at work for putting me onto this, but it's an interesting. I mean, I guess the song is essentially about him moving into basically a white neighborhood.
Yep.
And having a lot of folks over because he has like a studio or something in the basement, and his neighbors essentially calling the police and trying to say he was a drug dealer. You know what I mean? That shows a genuine side of. Does anybody know? Any of you guys know? Did that happen?
He said it was like it's based on a true story.
Okay.
And I think that's what's kind of cool about the album. I think you have to almost listen to that album all the way through to kind of appreciate what it is.
That's
because like you'll pick up on what it is as a whole right at the end.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
So it was very genuine, man, and I like that. This project, from what I heard, seemed just genuine.
Yeah, I really like it. A lot of people you already know, people kind of dissect J. Cole a lot.
I agree.
They're saying that it's a boring album. I mean, every album doesn't have to be party up style. You know what I'm saying?
I have a theory on that.
Tell me about it.
I mean, to me, it's pretty much a homage to his homeboy, who passed away. He's letting his daughter know that your dad was a good dude. Mm-hmm. He kind of took some wrong turns here and there, but he still loved you.
That's the entire album, right? Is kind of that basic concept,
right?
So that proves my point pretty. Like right on. Like, who makes albums based on concepts like that and can sell them to massive amounts of people? Man.
Nobody.
That's cool as shit within itself. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's impressive, man.
It's like the 𝗀𝗲𝗱 𝗛𝗲𝗱 like Cole and Kendrick. They have the ability to reach the masses. To me, this is just my opinion. They have the ability to reach the masses and not lose who they are in the process. Yep. And I think that's the beauty. Like, I'm always waiting for an artist that what I call can break through and get through to the mainstream and not compromise themselves. Big Crit is another one.
Yep.
Like, absolutely. I feel like Crit I think he still needs to get more love, but he has not compromised who he is or his sound.
Right.
And I respect Cole and I respect Kendrick for that, because they still, you can tell they're students of the game. You can tell Kendrick is immersed in the West Coast culture. He always pays homage
in the
Crit
Southern
in the South.
culture.
He always shouts out UGK as influences of Outkast, Cole. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are students. He had a song about Nas. He let Nas down. Those are the guys that I look to.
They're undoubtedly, to me, they're undoubtedly the kings of each coast.
Yes,
Kendrick, Cole, and Crit.
Yes,
whether or not they have reached their pinnacle status yet is irrelevant to me.
Yes.
But those are the guys that people want to be. Those are the guys that are doing what,
Yes.
Those are the guys that are actually immersed in hip hop culture, I think.
Yeah.
Like, they for real came up on the culture and they're trying to preserve the culture.
And carry it forward, man.
Right.
I agree with you guys completely.
And I think that's why
about those three.
Yeah, that's why people kind of boost them up. Because they can hear it in their music. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it doesn't sound forced.
It doesn't.
It sounds like this is who they generally, they are.
Would you say that this is straying a little bit from where I want to get at, but would you say that Chance does that for the Midwest?
I think for what Chance does,
because how he mixes gospel and juke music together for Chicago style,
right?
Yeah,
I do. I can G for that. And Chance actually, I don't know, did y'all peep the list, the MTV list at all?
No, I didn't.
It had
the hottest in the game of 2016.
I saw it. It had Lil Uzi Vert. Yeah.
21 Savage.
21 Savage. Kanye was first. Drake was second.
How was Kanye first, though?
I don't
Chance.
know.
Well,
wait, what is this list?
The way they, okay, it's the hottest in the game. So think about that. 2016, hottest. I already know, because I feel the same way. I literally watched this show.
I feel a lot of heat coming from across this table,
I can make the argument that Kanye is hot for the wrong reasons. It has nothing to
but
do with
hot.
the music. But he's hot, though.
He hot.
I just think it's lame. Again, I'm old. I'm a new old head.
Yeah, I mean, 5 mics don't count anymore.
We see you, Spoolz, with the plug.
I don't care who's hot.
Benzino bottom anyways.
Like, who cares? Like, who's popping and who's hot?
Let me. I'm gonna touch on Cole really quick.
Okay.
I think one of the things that, and you guys eventually got to a point that I was holding, but the thing that makes Cole dope, and even to me, is that, which is why I know that I'm going to enjoy his project when I listen to it. It's because I don't think he's a singles artist at all. I think he's somebody who makes projects.
Yes. And he kind of touched on that.
Did
he?
In that documentary, they kind of talked about how when you drop a single for a project,
yes,
everybody's looking for that same feel.
Right.
So if you think about his last 2 albums, he just put the albums out. He didn't drop any single. I mean, he did put singles out there while it was out.
Right.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
But
like
he didn't lead out with a single.
Yep.
It was just like, here's the album.
I think that's a unique way to go, and I think that's what makes him stand out to me. And I think that's why it took so long for me to find him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a gift and a curse, but at the same time, he doesn't have to find me because he's got his base is what it is. Anyways.
His base is locked and loaded. Like,
but
it's solid.
But when I went back and listened to 2014, because you were telling me, like, yo, it's dope, listen to it. And I think Spoolz is probably the same way. I think we were telling you, hey, listen to it, it's pretty dope.
Yep.
I was like, okay. And when I listened to it, there wasn't a song on there that stood out to me like, yo, this is so much better than all the other ones. It was just solid.
Mm-hmm.
It was just solid. You know, it was like front to back, it was solid. There were a few songs that I liked more than the others, a little bit, but nothing stood out crazy. You know, it wasn't like Kendrick's Pharrell joint, It's All Right. You know, there was nothing like that, but everything was really solid and it just stood out. It was good conceptually, you know, like driven. It was just good. You don't hear stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one tiny possible criticism of J. Cole, just to throw it out there. I've seen other folks say this, but do you think that there are certain, I know there's been certain, Firing Squad stands out to me. I think we might have talked about this at one point, but where he makes certain statements maybe to get a rise out of people, or maybe to get some more attention paid his way, to be maybe semi-controversial, I guess, a little bit from time to time. Not to say he does it consistently or all the time, but I feel like, I don't know, again, his music inside and out by any means, but I can think of a couple different...
Yeah, that's what I kind of think
like
it is.
Like the comment about Firing Squad, like was it... He says Eminem, Macklemore, and Iggy Azalea or some shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Like, that caught buzz. That made people talk. That made people, you know what I mean? That kind of brought him into the, not for the first time, like the forefront, but it made him it made that song relevant because he made a comment like that.
I liked it because of the Wu sample.
Yeah, I like that track a lot.
We see you.
Like,
we see you.
I remember you're the one who put me onto that.
I was like,
too.
hey, Spoolz, you're going to like this song.
And the thing is, I don't think I bet if he, like, putting, in that song in particular, Eminem in the same category as, like, Macklemore or Iggy Azalea. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of...
well, in general, I think the grander scheme of things, and we all probably know this, he was speaking on white privilege in hip-hop community. I don't think he was necessarily speaking on talents necessarily.
Because he was speaking on getting a Grammy for the most part.
But
you already know...
Recently,
like even Macklemore touches on that shit in his own songs.
He knew that.
I'm being looked at more because
I'm white.
I'm white,
totally, and
I got a little flow to me. And he has what's that one song where he has the little skit and the lady's like, I never really like rap until I heard you.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? It's
you know how many times I've heard that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
a lot.
So and then recently Cole put out the song where he basically was calling Kanye out or calling Wale out or whatever, but everybody knew that's who he was talking about. I don't know. Do you guys think that's something that is just necessary for people to do from once in a while if that's how they want to express themselves?
Maybe
as an MC, as an MC, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's part of hip hop. You're always, if you're for real a student of the game in hip hop, you want to be looked at or at least in the conversation as being top on the totem pole.
And I'll say this too, as an MC, when people aren't talking about you in that realm, sometimes you feel like you want to say some shit that's bold like that, to be like, no, I am that.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me.
Sure.
you know.
And neither one of those songs he talked his shit on, or even on the album.
Yeah,
he was just flexing. Like, here's 2 little throwaways.
Yep.
I'm flexing real quick.
Flexing is the word that I think I would use, because he's dope enough. Mm-hmm. He's dope enough just to say a couple things and not make that be predominantly what the song is about.
Yep.
I'm gonna throw this in here real quick because I'm nice enough to do it, and then we go keep on moving. So it's not like, I think that's a part of those songs or those records. That's a part of the draw to it, but it's also because he's dope. Like I think there's a difference between you actually leaning on that comment versus just being nice and being like, yo, I just threw that in there real quick.
I agree. I just felt like I had to throw something kind of out there, like, as far as Cole at the end of the day.
No, but I
don't feel that way. I've
though.
read a couple like things here or there where that some people had brought that. I couldn't even tell you who or whatever. And then I kind of thought about it. I was like, well, you know.
No,
I mean, it's kind of Kendrick with the whole control thing, man. You know what I mean? Like that. Kendrick was already doing just fine prior. You know what I mean? And
he had to flex real quick.
Said everybody's name. I'm always a little bit curious when people's names start coming up. You know what I mean? Like in a in that kind of a way. When Kendrick did it, I thought what he was trying to do was make everybody, and it's kind of what he said, right?
Try harder.
Yeah. And I thought it was cool.
I didn't even think it was a diss when I heard it.
I didn't either. Half the people that he mentioned have songs where they're like, he didn't really diss me. Like,
I mean, he was really giving them props. Like,
yes,
y'all are good, but I'm trying to slaughter y'all.
Yeah, and it wasn't a shitty. And he was talking about like music. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Y'all are my friends.
I think it worked though. I think
totally.
it made people become aware. I think it just like Wale. Like Wale dropped some shit where I was like,
hey,
okay.
Wale has been dropping some shit.
It inspired him though. It inspired him though. That's what music is supposed to do. It's like, okay, I'm gonna throw a little jab at you. Let's see where you at.
Yeah,
and it worked.
Just like Jay inspired Nas to come out swinging.
He did.
People were saying Nas was done. Well, not necessarily done, but he just wasn't where he was.
Let's talk about Nostradamus again.
Oh, hey, we ain't gonna
you know what I thought was real quick though, not to get up, what I thought was funny about the whole control thing was the cats who recorded verses back to Kendrick who he never had said their name in the first place.
I know, right?
Like, I know because
he said king, and I know he said, well, there's some of the dudes were dope, but like I know he said like I'm the king of New York and shit like that. Crit made Mount Olympus,
which was dope,
which addresses it. You know what I mean? But like
Papoose or something.
Papoose came out, and I dig Papoose. He's all right, man.
But why though?
Exactly, because of the king of New York thing.
Joel Ortiz
he didn't even mean that literally.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
Right.
But it was kind of like everybody was like, almost like what I'm saying right now. You know what I mean? Like literally going in like, this is my chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree.
Everybody to pay attention, you know, or something like that. And that's no disrespect to Joel Ortiz or Papoose because they're both really fucking dope. I think Papoose.
I'm
really
with you on that, Spoolz. It's more like a
that's just the game, I suppose.
It's like a look at me, like, hey, look at me. Yeah.
And sometimes people have to do that, I suppose. You know, I don't know. I'm not an artist, so I don't. Maybe it's shit you got to do every once in a while. But
sometimes you just have to. I mean, I have songs where I've got a song where I go at everybody in Indianapolis.
Yeah. I like that in him. I like that
just
in him.
because though it's called Sleep.
Talk,
it's called
What'd
Sleep.
you say about me, man?
You actually
don't rap.
You have cuts on the album.
Oh, that's
wow!
You have cuts on. It's my closeout track. But it was just.
Oh no, that's the one with you and Pete's Sake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, speaking of closeout tracks, I think you find a lot of your records on your website. Here's a thing that you have on bringingdowntheband.com that we talk about every week. Perhaps you'd like to speak about that now.
Perhaps.
I see what you did there, even though these aren't closeout tracks. But I see.
You see what I did there.
Yeah. All right. So every week we drop a new playlist. Turn off your radio is what it's called. It used to be called Turn Off Your Fucking Radio. We decided to be a little bit more PC.
I'm sorry.
I'm real quick. I'm gonna throw in some.
Go ahead.
Some hip hop history.
Okay.
All right.
Ice Cube had a song called "Turn Off Your Radio."
Okay.
Y'all remember that shit?
Which album?
I don't remember it.
I don't.
America's Most Wanted.
Okay.
Produced by the Bomb Squad.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, here's I won't go too deep into it. I talked about me not being very hip on Big L. I'm not real hip on like Ice Cube shit.
Ice Cube was
like
the
when
king
he went solo
for a minute.
Yeah,
I know.
he was.
I
That's
know.
real.
I've come to understand that, but
let's get a research project for Lone on Ice Cube.
And Big L, Big L.
I definitely think you should jump into O'Shea Jackson. And kind of jump back in, but website.
This was before he was an actor, right? All right,
sir.
so Turn Off Your Radio. It's bringingdowntheband.com/turnoffyourradio.
BDTB.
Yes, sir.
We're on 84, volume 84. So songs that we've added this week are Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. Sharon Jones, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Sharon
Rest in
Jones.
peace.
They just dropped a stop motion video that's kind of reminiscent of those like 60s to 70s like Christmas. You know, remember like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? So it's a video for that.
Shout out to the mouse.
What's going on with the mouse? Let me grab this mouse real quick.
Shout out to the mouse.
Aside from that, Chewy from Sacramento just dropped a joint called. He just dropped a video called Rare Pokemon. The video is real dope because it's like got Pokemon randomly popping up and stuff.
Okay.
Shouts to Chewy. We actually met Chewy at A3C one year.
Nice.
Gold Link dropped Dark Skin Woman.
Okay.
He's got a new project out too, don't he?
Not that I'm aware of, but I could very possibly be wrong.
Okay.
Wale's Heisman Watch.
Spoolz.
Wale's Heisman Watch.
Diop.
Yep. I got Diop on here somewhere.
Shout out to Diop.
He dropped Low Key with Man Dog as the producer.
Man Dog.
Odyssey has returned. He dropped his first single for his upcoming project. The song's called Things.
Okay.
Madlib and Doom. They re-released a mastered version of a joint.
Okay.
Which is dope. But yeah, there's quite a few songs on here, a Red Pill song, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So check that out.
Where can we find it?
/turnoffyourradio, bringingdowntheband.com. We also have, there's an app for it. So if you want to play it in your car or whatever, you can download the app, search for us, and then you can plug right in.
We also got 3 No Bad Ideas hats. We chilling. 3 knits.
Yes.
3 knits.
Check them out.
They are called Marled Basic Knit. This is the Marled Basic Knit Black. That's the lime. This is the Osiris wrap for people that want to wrap their heads. So
that's what's up. Well, we appreciate you. We are the New Old Heads. This is episode number 8, brought to you by bringingdownthebed.com. No Bad Ideas in Coleman Dental. For Lonegevity, DJ Jay Diff, and the absent DJ Spoolz. I am Maja 7th. Again, we are the New Old Heads, and this is our podcast. We appreciate you, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Keep rocking with us.
And make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. It's
yes,
YouTube,
do that.
YouTube.com/BDTBand.
And he's back.
And he's back
at the end.
Hit the subscribe button and find us on there. And, this is a video podcast. So
yes, we need subscribers, and we appreciate you all. And we will see you next episode. Peace.
Merry Christmas.
Goodbye.